Good.
Awesome. So, Karin, thank you so much for agreeing to do an interview with me. I really do appreciate it. I would love for you to, if you don't mind, just sharing a little bit about who you are, where you're from, what you do, and how I found
Yeah,
you.
absolutely. My name is Karin Carr. I am a realtor in Savannah, Georgia with Keller Williams. I have been licensed since 2005 because I've been in the business now a long time. I've tried everything when it comes to lead gen, as far as calling your sphere and asking for referrals, and door knocking and pop buys and open houses and flat out cold calling FSBOs and expireds and circle prospecting and Craigslist ads and Facebook ads and all the things. And I kind of stumbled across YouTube by accident. I was amazed at how well it worked. I am on a mission to tell every single real estate professional in the entire world that this is the biggest gold mine that you are not doing. And if you are on YouTube, but not really with a strategy or a purpose, I'm here to change your mind. And I will tell you that these are the best leads I ever get, period, end of story, hands down, and they are free.
Yes. And I know that's something, and that's kind of how I found you on Facebook. You've got the YouTube for real estate agents page, and you give a lot of great information and coaching in terms of how to really build your YouTube channel. And I really feel like I owe a lot to my channel because of you, because
Well, thank you.
I'm up to 261 subscribers now.
Woo! That's awesome. That's huge. It took me so long just to get to the first 100. So if you're
Right.
almost at 300 now, that's great.
Yeah, so it's super exciting. But something else I noticed about you is that you, for being on video, you have to be somewhat interesting to look at, to talk to. You're animated. You're not boring. How have you always been that way? Growing up as a child, would you say that you were always an animated individual?
Yeah, I think I was. I think like one of my earliest memories is in second grade. We were in chorus and we were singing, and the teacher said, "Wow, you're very loud, aren't you?" I don't think she meant it as a compliment. So I've always just kind of been a little bit extroverted that way. I love to sing. I got better at singing, and I majored in music in college. I did want to be a singer at one point.
Okay.
That was my goal. I was going to be an opera singer of all
Oh,
things.
wow.
Except that I'm 6 feet tall, and most of the men on stage were about 5, 7, or 8, and there are not a lot of couples in, Verity where the woman is 6 inches taller than the guy. So
Right.
that did not really pan out. Plus, I'm good, but I'm not that good. And it's hard to earn a living as a singer full time unless you're just flat out amazing. And
Right.
I wasn't really there. So I feel like my background of just naturally being a little more outgoing, as well as having a little bit of stage experience, certainly helps. But I had no camera experience, and being on stage, like you and I were talking about right before the camera went live, standing in front of a group and talking is not the same as being on camera and talking. Right. And so it helped. It certainly didn't hurt me, but that didn't necessarily make this journey all that much easier, if that makes sense.
No, absolutely. Well, how long ago was it remind me again, you said, when did you discover YouTube?
I started making videos when I lived in Atlanta, and I got there in like 2015. So I started making videos mostly just because I was new in the city. Nobody knew me. I didn't have any market share. And especially with first-time buyers, you find yourself answering the same questions over and over again because they all have the same questions. And so I think I had gone to a continuing education class board. I got there super early because in Atlanta, the traffic is a freaking nightmare. And so I completely overestimated how long it was going to take me to get there. And I'm sitting in the parking lot with like 45 minutes to kill and thought, what if I make a video where I say, what's the difference between the appraisal and the home inspection? And I just put it on YouTube so that I can say, oh, you have that question? I'm going to send you this link. And I don't have to repeat myself yet again. Right. And I just started making those sorts of videos with no real plan or consistency or strategy or, schedule. It was just, I got time, I'll make a video. And then when I moved to Savannah a couple of years later, I actually had somebody call me and say, we found your YouTube channel. We've watched all of your videos. We feel like we know you already. We're going to move to Georgia and we want you to be the one to hire or to help us.
Mhm.
And I had never had anybody off the internet just randomly call me and say, I want to hire you. That
Wow.
had never happened.
Yeah.
Never, ever, ever. Not with any sort of internet lead at all. And so I thought, oh my gosh, if this is happening when I wasn't even trying, what would happen if I actually tried? What would happen if I were consistent and I had a schedule and I had a plan and I decided in advance what I was going to talk about? How would that change? And my business exploded.
Wow. Now,
Yeah.
did you ever think for a moment, because you said 2015 and
Hmm.
you were, you know, a woman in your 40s, right? What
Right.
did you ever think for a minute, well, maybe I'm too old to be on YouTube and, follow the millennial generation that's doing all this? Did that ever cross your mind?
Not until my daughter said, what are you doing? Like, you're a YouTuber? Yeah. It never occurred to me until my teenager brought it to my attention. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Honestly, I didn't. I felt like, why can't I? It never really even entered my mind. I mean, first of all, I look how I look. If you don't like how I look, fine. You're not hiring me to be a bikini model for your business. You're hiring me to help you sell your house.
Right.
So what I look like really is irrelevant.
Mhm.
But if you're not going to hire me based on what I look like, then I probably don't want you as a client anyway, because really you're that shallow. And I just felt like, I've been in the business a long time. I have a lot of knowledge to share. I have a lot of information I can share. And you don't get that when you're 21 years old.
Absolutely.
It comes from experience.
Mhm.
And so I just figured, you know what? I am who I am. And if you don't like me, that's fine. I don't need everyone in town to like me. I
Right.
just need my tribe to find me. And they
Absolutely.
do. I try to really be myself on video, and I'm kind of goofy and I talk with my hands, and like one of my most popular videos, I flat out fell down in my driveway. I mean, I ate the cement big
Did
time.
you really? Oh,
Oh my gosh. I had told my husband, we're going to make a parody video. I want to do one of these luxury listing videos where they drive up in their Lamborghini and they get out in slow motion and like the slow pan of the $1 million house. And when I get out of the car, I'm going to pretend to trip. So he was filming me on my very fancy equipment, my phone, and I got out of the car and I tripped myself on purpose. Well, I went smack down
oh,
on the pavement, and he kept filming because I had told him I was going to do that. So he didn't know that it was real. And after I didn't get up, he said, oh my gosh, are you okay? And I said, please tell me that you got that on camera. And he's like, yeah, I got the whole thing because I thought it was intentional. So we left it in the video, and people, when they call me, they invariably say something like, I love that you don't take yourself too seriously. I can't believe that you were brave enough to leave that in. I don't think I could have done that, but I love that you did. And if somebody watches that and they're like, oh, she's so unprofessional, I would never hire her, that is perfectly fine
right,
because
right.
I don't really want to work with those people
Absolutely.
anyway. So it's kind of like they are self-selecting which ones of them want to work with me. And I have yet to have somebody call me and hire me, and I really did not like them. It just doesn't happen. It's kind of like the people that are attracted to me on camera are people that I would naturally want to hang out with anyway. And so we get along great. We become friends. We're having lunch. We're, going to parties at each other's houses. And it's not like a forced relationship because we did a deal together. So I feel like I need to be nice to them afterwards. It's like literally this was somebody I would hang out with anyway. And it just is an added bonus of being on YouTube.
That's awesome. And
Yeah.
I love the fact that you were able to highlight, really, essentially is what you did, is highlighted your fall to your video, and just
Yep.
you were totally okay with it. They say, like, when you're doing even things like what we're doing right now of recording, and if your child comes in or something happens, and not to freak out, like, it's okay. It's life. Things happen. Just be you and do you, and that's all you have to do.
And
Uh,
especially now when everybody is being forced to work from home and do stuff
yeah.
virtually, like everybody's kids are upstairs making noise and you're just crossing your fingers hoping that they don't start
Yes.
yelling right this very minute. But if it happens, like everyone is in the same boat. I think we're all much more tolerant of that right now.
Absolutely. So when you started video, right, in 2015, you found YouTube and you decided you're going to do this. Prior to, there was Facebook, and I'm sure you probably were
Mhm.
on Facebook at that time. Did you do a lot of video on Facebook to
I
your?
did not. Mm-mm. I really did not. I was trying a lot of ads, and it was very discouraging because, man, I could get leads like nobody's business for $1 or $2 a piece. I could not convert those leads to save my life. So I would run an ad and I'd get 25 leads, and then they wouldn't talk to me. They wouldn't answer the phone. They wouldn't respond to my emails. The phone number didn't work, and it was so frustrating because I spent like hundreds of dollars every month for probably a year straight. And I did not close one single lead. Now, a lot of that was because my conversion skills and maybe my ad skills, and maybe it wasn't good targeting, but it was discouraging to spend that much time and effort and then not get anything from it.
Sure.
And I wasn't doing any video on Facebook at all. Live was not really a thing yet. And it just never really occurred to me because when I go on Facebook, I'm not looking for business information. I'm looking to connect with my friends. So I wasn't really thinking, how could I make video for Facebook in order to attract real estate clients? It just honestly never really even occurred to me.
Mm. And did you ever worry about, when you did start doing it, did you worry about what people would you thought about you when you were on video, or the fact that you were doing, as a younger adult, you worry about what people think,
Right.
as you get older, that does start to fade out a little bit. At what point did it fade out for you?
That is the best part about getting older. I swear. It's kind of
Yeah.
like, you remember in the Golden Girls, the oldest one, Sophia, that
Yeah.
would just, she had no
Oh,
filter and she would say whatever she wanted. The older I get, the closer I get to that mentality of like, you know what? It is what it is. Either you
right,
like it or you don't. And if you don't, that's okay. I don't really care.
right.
Your opinion of me does not affect what I do in any way, shape, or form. So that's pretty awesome. And was I always like that? No, of course not. I was very self-conscious as a teenager. Like, look up the word awkward in the dictionary and there's a picture of me there. It was just so bad. And I mean, I was 6 feet tall and like 100 pounds and bad hair, glasses, braces, freckles, no figure whatsoever. It was, yeah, awful. But you kind of grow into your,
Sure.
I don't know, you own it.
Skin,
And
yeah.
with every year that passes, it just gets easier. And when I started making videos for YouTube consistently, so that was June of 2017 when I got to Savannah, and I said, I'm going to make one video a week. I didn't really tell anybody. Like, I would make the video and I would put it out on YouTube and I would post about it in my business page and in my real estate groups, like, hey, I put out a new video, you should go watch it. But I wasn't really letting all of my friends and family know that I was doing it. And then my sister called me one day and she's like, you're a YouTuber. And I said, what are you talking about? I totally am not. And she said, look up the definition of YouTuber. Yeah, you are. You're a YouTuber. And I thought, I've never thought of myself that way. But then when I started getting business from it, like, I embraced it because yes, it works. And I think the reason why it works so well is because it's a search engine. It's not a social media platform, and Google owns it. So
Mhm.
somebody can be doing a Google search and your video will show up on the homepage of Google, and people would rather watch a video than read a big long article on Zillow. So then they watch your video, and if you're entertaining and you're telling them what they wanted to know and they're getting to know you, man, when they call you, like, it's a slam dunk. There is no conversion that goes on. The only time they don't convert is if they don't move.
Right.
It's awesome.
How do you think somebody, you said as long as you're entertaining, how does
Mm.
somebody become entertaining? Like, you, what if you just, I wouldn't consider myself entertaining, by any means. So
Right.
how do I become entertaining?
Well, and it's not even so much that you are like acting as it is you're giving them something to watch. So in my part of this video, it's just a big talking head, right? If I do a 10-minute long video and all it is my talking head the whole time, That's not very interesting. If I'm talking about a great neighborhood with a pool, show the pool. It's called B-roll. When you're talking, but you're showing something else. And
Mm,
if you're saying, like, we have a major airport where we live, you can show stock footage of an airport. It doesn't have to be, I went to the airport and I took video. You can
right.
buy random footage off the internet or get it for free on all kinds of websites. So you're talking about something, but you're showing what it is that you're talking about. And
Mhm.
then if you're interviewing your lender, for example, when the lender is talking, zoom in on the lender's face. And when you're both talking together, you zoom out. And then when you're talking, zoom in on your face. It's just editing stuff to keep the pace of the video moving along that keeps the viewer's interest. It's not necessarily that you are so charismatic on camera. You're just giving them something to look at that keeps their interest longer.
So what you mentioned editing, what do you use
Mhm.
for editing?
Right now I'm using WeVideo, which is a cloud-based software. And somebody in the Facebook group actually mentioned it about a year ago. And I said, I've never heard of it before, but I Googled it and I loved the idea of it because it's web-based. It doesn't matter if you're on a PC or a Mac.
Nice.
And I had literally just hired a virtual assistant to do my editing for me. I'm on a Mac, she's on a PC. So I couldn't give her the software that I was using because she couldn't run it.
Mhm.
And so I said, I just heard about this new stuff, WeVideo. Let's try it. And, we'll do like a 30-day trial. And if we like it, I'll renew it. And she said, oh my gosh, I love it. It's so user friendly. It comes with B-roll as part of it. So if I say, okay, at the 3-minute mark where I'm talking about, I don't know, sitting at the closing table, signing the documents, go get some B-roll for that. And she just goes in and says, I'm looking for buying a house. And there's like a happy couple sitting at the table, signing the piece
Oh,
of
wow.
paper. And we're going to just use that B-roll footage in the video.
Oh, nice.
And it's pretty awesome. And it's really inexpensive too. I think we spend, I want to say it was like $30 a month for a 3-user license, which is their top of the line package. But
Oh,
their cheapest package is like $5 a month. And then they have everything in between. So if you get the professional level or up, it includes the free B-roll. So I recommend the professional level.
oh,
You
wow.
don't need a 3-user license unless you have a team or
Right.
you have somebody doing the editing for you. And then they log in on their end. They do all of the editing. They say, hey, I'm done. You go log in on your end. And then you can, work together that way.
So a single agent can really get this program pretty affordable.
Yeah, in fact, the last time I looked, they were running a big sale. It was like 50% off. And I want to say it was maybe $17 a month or something like that for the
Okay.
professional plan. Don't quote me, but it was relatively inexpensive.
Well, I will have to check that out. Right now I use iMovie myself.
That's what I started with. I
Oh,
used iMovie. And as you know, iMovie has a lot of limitations. It's awesome that it's free, but
mhm.
you literally only get 2 lines of video. So if you have your line and you have the B-roll, now you can't put any motion graphics on top of it. So you can't have your name and your company pop up in the corner because you only get 2 lines of video. They don't really come with a lot of fancy features and things like that. So while it was free, once you get good, you kind of outgrow it. And
Yeah.
then when I discovered WeVideo, I was like, awesome. So this includes, like, I could have 10 lines of video and 4 lines of audio if I wanted to. I don't, but I could. And then the fact that it comes with tons of motion graphics and titles and the B-roll and everything at no additional charge. And without having to go to pixabay.com or Pexels or Shutterstock and get it, download it, import it. Like, it's a huge time saver. I like it a lot.
So speaking of a time saver, how long does it take you to edit videos? Would you say if somebody was wanting to get into this and kind of
Now it takes me 2 minutes because I don't do the editing anymore. Literally, the best thing I ever did was hire a virtual assistant. So I found this girl. She's probably 20 years old now. She's been working for me for about a year. I found her online. I said, I want you to do my editing for me. I want you for 20 hours a week, and you're going to edit every video that I give you. How much will you charge me? And she said $2.50 an hour. And I was like, sold, because she's in the
Fiverr?
Philippines. She's in the Philippines, and our dollar goes so far there. It's
Oh,
insane.
wow.
So I pay her $50 a week. She edits all of my videos for me. Like, I would pay myself $50 an hour if I were doing the editing myself based on like what, actually it's more than that. It's a lot more than that now. But at the time, like let's say that you wanted to make $100,000 a year. I think that comes out to something like 48 bucks an hour if you work full time. Like really, would you pay somebody $48 an hour for substandard video editing? Because let's be honest, we are not video editors by trade. So we might be able to get it done, but it doesn't look great. Whereas you could hire somebody that's actually really good at this for a fraction of what it costs if you do it yourself. So when I was doing it myself, I would say it probably took me about 4 to 5 hours to edit a video because I'm not that great at it. I'm kind of slow. And then I'd have to, because I had iMovie, I'd have to go find the B-roll and download it from another site and then import it and all that kind of stuff. If you can have somebody else do it for you, it will pay you back a million times over.
That's great advice. Did you find this person on Fiverr?
No, I started on Fiverr and I found somebody that was really awesome. And I think she was charging me $10 per video. And she was a stay-at-home mom in the UK, and she did great work. But I kept giving her name out, and eventually she got so busy she couldn't help me anymore. So I was like, okay, lesson number one: once you find a good editor, don't be giving everybody their name because suddenly they're too busy and they can't help you anymore, or they're going to raise their rates too.
Sure.
So I found her on a website called onlinejobs.ph, which is kind of like if monster.com and match.com had a baby. It's like, it's a website for virtual assistants in the Philippines. They put up their resume with all of their qualifications and what software programs they know and what they're good at and what their area of expertise is. And you say, I'm looking for a video editor. And that part's all free. But then when you want to send them a message, you have to pay to join their site. And I think it was like $69 a month. So you pay for the 1 month, you contact all of these people, you have Zoom or Skype, conversations with them. And when you hire the right person, then you discontinue your membership. So I only had to pay the $69 the first month because after I hired her, I was able to cancel.
Fantastic. I will put that link in this blog or video.
Cool.
So people have it. What about, since we're on the topic of kind of editing now, just equipment, I was going to ask you about that. You showed your phone earlier. Yep. I know that I've started with my phone as my camera. I just recently bought a better camera. What do you use?
Most of the time, I still use my phone. If I am out and about, it's always my phone. I did upgrade to a real camera. I call it my big girl camera. It's a DSLR, but it's still a very entry-level camera. It's a Canon T7i that was probably $700 or something like that. So it was an investment, but I put it on a tripod. Well, first I was keeping it in my bag and it's got all the lenses and the filters and it's so intimidating. I don't have any idea how to use this thing. And so I never used it because every time I took it out of the bag, it was like, I can't remember how I use this. And I have to pull out the manual and it was so intimidating. I just never used it. And I defaulted to my phone. Then I put it on a tripod and I said, okay, I'm going to learn how to do this. And I'm going to just leave it set up in my office all the time. So now whenever I am recording sitting at my desk like this and I'm talking to the camera, I use that because it really is a good quality camera. I was using it when I was like going live on Facebook and everybody would say, oh my gosh, your camera looks so good. What are you using? And I used to think like it totally didn't matter what I used. So you may as well just use the phone. But everyone kept saying, wow, what a big quality difference it is. So I thought, all right, since everyone is telling me that the camera quality is so much better, I'm going to make it a process to learn how to use this thing so that I have consistently good looking videos. But for the first 3 years, I used my phone or my iPad.
Okay. Wow. Yeah. And what about microphone? Because your quality is very good, your voice quality, and that's important, when you're.
Yes, I find that on YouTube, people are very forgiving of poor camera quality, but they're not very forgiving of bad audio. And if you have bad audio, they call you out in the comments. I've had people be like, your audio is terrible. I can't hear anything. And there was a video I did. I went on vacation and I forgot to bring a microphone with me. So all I had were my Bluetooth, the thing that goes around your neck and it looks like a horseshoe, and then
Yeah,
the
I have
the
one.
things dangle down. Yep. And I put my earbuds in. I freaking forgot to turn it on. So I thought I had my Bluetooth earbuds going and it wasn't even turned on. And yeah, people let me know in the comments that the audio quality was terrible, but they were absolutely right. Like I didn't have a leg to stand on. They were right. So now I've got a bunch of different microphones. Like right now, I'm just using something like this. It's like a little podcasting microphone that was $35 maybe on Amazon, and it plugs into the back of my computer with a USB port. But if I am recording with my phone, I just use my Bluetooth earbuds, or I bought one it's called the Smart Mic Plus, that just clips on right here and it's wireless. So you don't have this big long cord that you're
Oh,
tripping all
nice.
over. So yeah, depending on what you're recording with, Amazon is your best friend. Seriously, just go on there and type in what microphone to use with what recording device, and you'll find so many suggestions. And then just pick one. Like don't get 19 different things trying to decide which one has the best quality. Just pick one thing and use it over and over again, so that you don't end up with a drawer full of crap that you never use, like I have.
Absolutely. So
Yeah.
I bought this mic and I picked one. Okay, I did that on Amazon, and hopefully you can see this is what
Mhm.
mail.
It's so funny because of your virtual background, it like
I know.
disappears. It's
And it's just so awkward looking. I'm like, I don't know what I was thinking, but you know,
it does. I was gonna say it looks like something else, not
yeah,
necessarily a microphone. Luckily, no one sees it but you.
that's right. um, so another question I have for you, in terms of video footage and when people are taking video,
Mhm.
what, and they want to make their channel. I struggled with, in the beginning, prior to being a real estate agent, I was a teacher. So
Oh, okay.
I had education in my background. And so I wanted to, even though I didn't know anything about real estate, I wanted to make educational real estate videos for other realtors. I wanted to teach other realtors instead of teaching my clients. Now I've shifted and I do both, so now that I've got a little bit more experience, I'm teaching other realtors, but I'm also teaching my clients. Do you suggest picking one thing, or can you, have, interviews like what we're doing right now? Can you do education? I created my first vlog at 46 years old.
I would say that if you're going to make content for two different audiences, it should be on two different channels, because your channel is designed to appeal to a very specific audience. And I was originally, like, my Georgia Coast Homes channel, I'm talking to people that want to buy or sell a house in the Savannah, Georgia market. And if I make a video for a real estate agent, that is not somebody that wants to buy or sell a house in the Savannah, Georgia market. And so I was making videos, not regularly, but every now and then, for realtors, and I was putting it on that same channel. They are not the same audience. So finally I said, I got to create a second channel. And I've got to put the videos for realtors over here and the videos for buyers and sellers over here, because it's kind of like if you're chasing two different dogs and they're running in opposite directions, how do you chase them both at the same time? You really can't. You got to pick one. So if you're going to make video content for consumers, have that on one channel, and then you can put your content for agents on a separate channel. And it's not extra work because it's the same video. You're just putting it in a different destination.
Yeah, so YouTube has the same, well, not the same, but similar algorithms, excuse me, as Facebook,
Right.
where they're based on what you're putting out there is what it's going to attract to,
Yes.
and how you're going to get your views ultimately.
Yep. And that's a really great thing to say, because so many people, realtors, will make videos and then they share their video in like 19 different Facebook groups for realtors. When they go and watch your video, you are training the YouTube algorithm that other real estate agents is your ideal audience. So try to stop doing that.
Okay,
If
I
you
will.
make a video, yeah. I mean, at the very beginning, when your channel is brand new and you
Yeah.
just need views and you're desperately trying to get your first 100 subscribers, I get it. We share our videos. We all did that. But eventually you got to cut the apron strings and you got to start trying to teach the algorithm who is your ideal audience. And it's not other real estate agents unless you're making videos for real estate agents. So if you want a buyer to call you in Denver, don't be having all of these real estate agents go watch those videos, because you are literally shooting yourself in the foot by doing that.
Okay, that's very, very, very good advice. I was going to ask you something else about saving the videos. I heard not too long ago that when you save a video on your computer, that the way that you title it, when you titling it like in that MP4 format,
Mm-hmm.
that actually is very, very important to make sure that you're titling it with your city and state. Have you heard anything like that before?
Nope.
Somebody just told me that.
Nope. I usually title it with the keyword that I'm trying to rank for. So if my video was called, I don't know, living in Savannah, what I love and what I hate, I would call the file that I'm uploading living in Savannah, because that's the keyword that I'm trying to optimize for. But I wouldn't do like, oh, what's a good example? Like, how long does it take to buy a house dash Savannah, Georgia? No, I've never heard that before.
Okay. Okay. And then talk about your keywords everywhere. I forgot about
Mhm.
that.
I love me some keywords everywhere. It's great. I would love to have a video go viral and get hundreds of thousands of views, but the idea is that I am getting fewer views from people with a very high intent. And if somebody is searching best neighborhoods in Atlanta or something like that, they are kind of telling you that I am looking for a place to live and I'm looking for the best neighborhood. And I am also looking in Atlanta. So they have a very high intent as far as what they're typing into the search bar, whether that's in Google, as we already talked about, or YouTube. And so how do you know what they're searching for? You get a keyword research tool. And Keywords Everywhere is one.
Yeah.
It's $10 for 100,000 search credits. There's Uber Suggest, there's Google AdWords, the keyword planner in Google. Like when you log in to run an ad, there's a keyword planner. I mean, I really don't care what you use, but if you do a little bit of research so you know what people are searching for, it makes it so much easier for you to come up with content ideas. Like, oh, I just discovered that, I don't know, 700 people a month are searching how do you hire a realtor in Denver or whatever the case may be. I should make a video on that topic because that's 700 people that are looking for that information. And I figure if I'm going to spend the time to make a video, I want it to be about real estate information. I mean, I have made a video called My 5 Best Places to Get Shrimp and Grits, and it gets a lot of views. But is the person who's looking for shrimp and grits for dinner tonight necessarily planning to buy or sell a house in the immediate future? Or are they just here on vacation and they're looking for a restaurant that has shrimp and grits? So yes, you can get a lot of views on those videos, but they don't necessarily lead to new business on YouTube. So I figure let's find out what people are actually searching for that shows some sort of intent to buy or sell real estate, and then make videos to answer those questions.
Yeah. Do you have a YouTube video already out there for people that are watching that may want to learn and understand how those keywords everywhere works? Because when you go on, I purchased it. And at first it's a little bit scary and overwhelming because you don't understand how the little numbers all,
Right.
what you're looking for. Do you have a video that you created for that?
I do. I think I have 2 actually on my channel. So if you go to YouTube for Agents on YouTube, that's the name of the channel, and just look for Keywords Everywhere. I've got at least one, and I think I might have more than that.
Awesome. Okay,
Yeah.
perfect. And, last but not least, I think that as new real estate agents, being able to find their brand and their niche, those are the 2 things that new agents struggle with the most. I'm still struggling with that as an agent. So I'm actually asking you this for myself and for all the other new agents out there. How do you find that? How did you find your brand to start with?
Well, your brand, in my opinion, is not like your color scheme. It does not mean
Right.
your logo and the colors you want and all that kind of stuff. It's how do you appear on camera to display your personality? Are you very serious and polished and you're, Ryan Serhant wearing his $1,000 suit
Mhm.
and just looking super put together? Are you goofier? Do you wear sundresses everywhere you go? Do you wear flowered shirts and flip-flops because you live at the beach? Like, what is your persona on camera? And there's no right or wrong. It's how do you want to be on camera so that people will relate to you and then want to work with you?
Mhm.
And it can be kind of a conscious decision. It can be uh, I want to attract people that are silly and like to joke and have a good sense of humor. Well, then you got to joke in your videos. Like if you're, hello, I'm Karin, and today we're going to talk about how long it takes to sell your house. You're not going to attract people that have a great sense of humor because of your very dry delivery. So you kind of need to decide that that's how I'm going to be on camera. And you're going to not only attract people that love that about you, but you are going to repel people that don't like that. And that is every bit as important, in my opinion.
Yeah,
Not
absolutely.
everybody in the world's got to love you, and not everybody in your city needs to hire you. We want the people that like your personality to be attracted to your channel and to like your content. And I'm telling you, when you work with people that adore you and think that you walk on water, it's so much fun, and it makes the whole transaction so much more enjoyable and so much less stressful when you're working with people that like you genuinely like them and you want to hang out with them when the transaction is over.
And
And
let's,
then sorry, go ahead.
no, I was just going to say, let's face it, there's a lot of people in this world. So we have
Right.
plenty of people to go around to find
Right.
and attract those people.
Right. I mean, in my market, Savannah has a population of, I think, like 150,000. And then in the Tri County area, it's about 350,000.
Mhm.
Am I ever going to have 100% of the market share with 350,000 people? No, of course
Right.
not. And it's dumb to think that you would. So, not everybody's got to work with you. It's okay for some people to say, I don't really like you. I like Trisha better. That's okay. You can go hire Trisha. That's all right with me. Then, as far as the specialty, I never ever considered this when I was a new agent. I just thought, like, I'll work with anyone who can fog a mirror. Like, I'm your girl. I need the business bad, anybody and everybody. And if the house is an hour away, okay, I'll do that too. I mean, I remember, oh gosh, when I was brand new, I took a listing that was literally an hour and a half away from my house. I'd never been there before. I didn't know anything about the neighborhood. I had no business taking that listing because what kind of a job was I going to do for my seller? I wasn't even a member of his MLS. I had to like outsource it to somebody else. And
Mhm.
in retrospect, that was so stupid, but I was so desperate for the business that I did it, even though I shouldn't have. So then when I started my YouTube channel, I thought, okay, who would I really enjoy working with? My husband is retired military, and we have two fairly large military bases here. So I said, I'm going to go after people that are PCSing to Hunter Army Airfield. They are military. I'm military. We shop at the commissary. We've flown Space A. We stay at the Halikoa when we go on vacation in Hawaii. Like, we're a military family. So I get what they're going through because we've been there and done that ourselves. And by having a specialty, let me tell you, you are able to attract your ideal client like you've got a magnet and you're just pulling them to you. I went to the base to the pharmacy a while back, and when I was showing my ID to the guard, he's like, "You're that lady that sells houses on YouTube." And I said, I don't actually sell houses on YouTube, but yes, that is me. So he knew who I was because he had Googled something like, we just got orders to Savannah and what's it like to live there. And he found my videos and he knew me. And he said, we're living in base housing right now, but as soon as we're ready to buy our first house, like, you're the one I'm calling. So you are able to attract your ideal clients when you are speaking specifically to them. So who would you like to work with? If you're brand new and you just don't know, that's okay. But think, like, who are people like you? Are you 25 years old and single and you want to work with other people your age? Maybe they're buying their first houses. Maybe they're single, maybe they're married and they have just had their first baby, and you want to work with those kind of people. Like, it's okay for you to decide, what will my area of expertise be and what type of person do I want to work with? And you will attract them by the way that you appear on camera, as well as the content that you're putting out there. Like, if you want to attract that person, you're not going to make lots of videos talking about empty nesters who are downsizing, or, you know, the $1.2 million neighborhood, because that's not the first time buyer. Probably. I mean, I don't know what house prices are like where you live, but my median price is under 250 in Savannah. So if I talk about the big fancy gated communities, that's not what first time buyers are buying. That's a different persona. So think about, like, who would I like working with? Who do I feel the most competent to work with because I've been in their shoes, I've done that myself, and I know what their struggles are. And then maybe decide that that's going to be your ideal customer avatar.
Well, that's great advice. Yeah, that's something I definitely, as a new agent, when I first started, I, felt like I didn't want to lock myself in to one particular group. I actually personally really, really enjoy working with first time homeowners, but I also like to do listings for folks. So I kind of do both. But I definitely, when I get a first time buyer, I love it, because it's that teaching part
The
and the
teacher
helping
in you comes
part.
out.
Yeah.
Yes,
So take them
totally.
under my wing, and help them. So I guess that's maybe my brand, right? That's
Right.
who I am.
Sure. And you could totally, if you wanted to, you could totally play it up, and you could have like a chalkboard be your backdrop, and you could be dressed like a school teacher, and you could have your glasses perched on the edge of your nose and be like, and you could make like, I
Right.
am the teacher and we're in real estate school 101. We're talking about down payments or whatever. I mean, you could make that your brand on there, and I bet people would love that. They would.
That's true. What a great idea. So when you start seeing that all over, you're gonna be like, I told
That was my idea.
her.
And but you know what else that you said? You said I also like listings. Here's a perfect example. So I started my channel making videos for buyers who were relocating to Savannah that were in the military. The very first lead that I got from my channel was a seller who was not in the military. So I got a come list me phone call from some guy that's not in the military that found the channel, started watching the videos, got to know, like, and trust me, hired me pretty much sight unseen. When I showed up for my listing presentation and I said, so who else are you interviewing? They said, nobody. Like, we picked you already. So did you bring the paperwork? Because we're ready to sign it. And
Yeah.
when I said, that's awesome, and here's how much I charge, they said, okay, would you like a blue pen or black?
Oh my
They
gosh.
did not push back on the commission, nothing. And
Wow.
so it doesn't mean that by having an area of expertise that you're going to alienate everybody else and you're going to push them away. It does not mean that at all. The second lead I got was also a seller lead, come to think of it. It just means that when you have a targeted marketing message for your YouTube channel, you're helping the algorithm figure out who it should put your videos in front of, and therefore attract them with more ease. So the more you can be specific in your marketing message, the better it's going to work.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for all that. I mean, I've learned a whole bunch in this little interview here, and I'm sure anybody watching has learned already a whole bunch. So I do appreciate you taking the time out.
My pleasure. Thank you for asking
I
me.
really
I
do.
love to geek out on this stuff. So
That's awesome.